Tell us your name and your story.
Shawn Wisman, and I am an associate pastor. I was pastoring a small congregation, and my wife was leading worship, and it was just kind of us as a team. We had 2 kids and kind of living what I would think, at least in the U.S., is kind of the ideal life and maybe the typical track for a pastor. Unexpectedly, one night I had a conversation with my wife and found out that she was having an affair. And nothing prepares you for those moments. Nothing prepares you for being blindsided.
My name's Todd Rettburg, and I'm the Western Director for Standing Stone. About 7 years ago, Shawn reached out through a mutual friend, and I remember the walking in. I had never seen him, so I didn't even know what he looked like. But it was very easy to tell who he was when I walked in, because he was sitting in the back in a booth, and he looked like death to me. He looked like he was barely functioning.
And at that point, I was the epitome of desperation. I knew that I couldn't do anything. I was a shell of myself. The idea that I could have somebody that I could just share what was going on with, and that had no skin in the game.
He just needed a safe place to be able to be vulnerable and hurting and literally sit in the sadness with him.
I want to say there was a sense of relief, knowing that there was somebody on the other side of the table that was for me. And I think for pastors, it's really hard. Life is so much about other people, and you become conditioned to think about other people all the time. And the sacrifice of that, everybody's story is different, but the sacrifice for me was me. Todd intrinsically knew in his heart that there is a difference for me between what I can do and what is healthy for me, because he could see things in me that I could no longer see in myself. And so when I remember that distinctly, because that was an invitation towards imagining a different way forward. He stood in line for me when I couldn't be in that line for myself. And I think he had hope when I didn't know what hope could look like for myself.
In all the relationships that I have with pastors and ministry leaders, I'm always trying to get them back to Jesus, back to the foundation. And some of that is back to their calling. So even in the midst of all this horrible stuff that's going on, what has God called you to? And some of that was obviously to still be a ministry leader. Some of that obviously was still to be a dad. And so trying to get back to, okay, this is horrible, and let's not negate the emotions of that, but what does it look like to fix our eyes on Jesus and go, okay, what in the midst of all this do you think Jesus is doing? So my role was not to push him through something. My role is to sit in it and help him just see Jesus in it rather than just solve it, because I couldn't solve it. I couldn't put their marriage back together.
He gave me permission to say, if I'm going to be a pastor, I'm going to do it as I am. Not how you expect me to be, but as I authentically am. And so that was, I think, the biggest shift in terms of transformation, is I was going to be me, whether you liked it or not. And Todd modeled what that could look like, because I was always my authentic self with Todd.
I think the turning point was when he stepped out of the senior role that he had at the church. It was a place where he could go out of being the guy and sit in the second chair, and through that get some perspective on I don't have to do it all, like at a church where you're the only guy. And I think obviously when his new wife came into the picture, that brought some real hope.
To invite him to spend time with my loved ones and my wife's loved ones, to celebrate this thing that we never could have imagined was like, and looking out at the pews and seeing him and Lisa there and knowing that it wouldn't have been possible. Like that moment wouldn't have been possible if Todd hadn't been in my life.
Sitting and watching them get married, I mean, what the enemy wants for evil, God can do for good. I mean, there it was. I mean, over about a 4-year period to watch just God like radically do a work and see someone really get to the place where like, okay, man, God's really working in my life. One of the reasons that makes him a really good pastor is he's able to take that stuff and bless other people. He's able to take the pain and suffering that he went through and be able to help others in similar situations or other stuff that they're struggling with. That's the beautiful thing of suffering. We all hate suffering. But the beautiful thing of suffering is God does a healing work in us. We're able then to help others walk through that process. I had the honor and the privilege to get to be a friend of someone that I respect and love and have learned from. So that's a real blessing for me.
You've helped me understand abiding more deeply. What does it mean to sit with somebody, to grieve with somebody, to laugh with somebody? Because we laugh a lot. When I look over the challenges of the last several years of my life, you were there faithfully as an anchor. You were there when my parents couldn't be there. You were there when my friends couldn't be there. You were there at literally the lowest point of my adult life. So this time feels very, very sweet that I get to do this part with you too.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. It's an honor. Together we are his house.
Built on the foundation of the apostles and the prophets.
And the cornerstone is Christ Jesus himself.
We are carefully joined together in him.
Becoming a holy temple for the Lord.
Becoming a holy temple for the Lord.